Good afternoon. Yesterday we started our series of videos that we had promised on the whole topic of financial literacy, and we promised a series of videos on this particular topic. And today we begin with defining what financial literacy really means, because it is important when you want to generate knowledge and when you want to impart knowledge to a group of audience, always to begin from a point of understanding of certain key concepts that are embedded in the subject that you want to talk about. So financial literacy basically is possession of certain self set of skills and knowledge that allows an individual or a person to be able to make informed decisions with regard to financial resources. We all operate within a framework of certain financial resources, whether we are in the private sector or we are in the public sector, whether we are in the formal sector or we are in the informal sector. We all do some kind of productive work that enables us to get some money, and therefore we need basic knowledge on financial matters. So financial literacy is basically building knowledge that people can use in how to manage their financial resources. Actually, when we talk about financial literacy in simple terms, we are talking about the whole process of making money and the whole process of creating wealth. In as much as it looks very elusive to create wealth, but we say that it is very important that even making wealth has got its own process, and people must be able to be introduced to this process so that they can know if their goal is to get out of poverty, if your goal is to create wealth, therefore you need to understand what process are you supposed to follow. So financial literacy is building on basic skills and of course basic knowledge in terms of the process of creating wealth. And this process, of course, for all of us, whether we are in the formal sector, whether we are in the informal sector, this process begins at the step where we start to work. There are people who may work hard. There are people who say they are working smart. There are people who say they are just working. But I think that's the beginning of the process of wealth creation. You must be able to work, simply because when you work, then you make money. Or when you work, you get paid. Whatever type of work. If you do business, if you do office work, at the end of the week, at the end of the month, you get paid. And if you get paid, then the process of creating wealth begins there, because then follows the concepts of saving. How much of that money that you make per week, per day, per month are you saving? How much of those savings you are actually investing? What kind of investments? Of course, some people may reinvest, others may even reinvest. But the bottom line is you need to have a clear budget of yourself in terms of what is your income, or how much money do you make, and what is your expenditure. How do you spend that money? Then if you can be able to have a balance of the much money you make and your own expenditure per month, per week, then you can be able to see how much of that money is saved. And of course, now from saving, you can talk about investment and reinvestment, reinvestment. But at the end of the day, it is very key when you deal with the last aspect of your money, which is expenditure, to be able to be prudent in the way you spend your money. So prudency is very key, and this prudency, we will explain it later, but because it is within the framework of prudency of the way you spend your money that now we'll be able to define how much of that money